Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Other Side of Addiction podcast. I am your host, Al Richards. And before I introduce the desk, my guest, excuse me, I just want to give a huge thank you and a shout out to Dave and Susan Kenny, who are the founders of Emergo Academy. That's Emergo Academy. Check out their website, emergoacademy.com. But you guys, you've heard me say this week in and week out on the show. I actually personally took their training. And what I loved about their training, it's the brain first approach. So really, when we sit down with a client, and I was certified as an international crisis and recovery coach, but before we sit down, we really don't sit down with a client and talk about whatever they're dealing with, right? Whether it's a trauma or addiction or whatever. We actually just sit down and we help them. We don't guide them, but we help them through questions to go deeper, go further below the iceberg, if that makes sense, because usually the iceberg that you see above the surface is only 10% of it. The other 90% is under the water. And they figure this stuff out on their own, which is really cool when you start seeing individuals start going, oh my gosh, I did not realize I was hanging on to that. But also, what's cool about Dave and Susan Kenny's training, if you don't want to be a certified crisis and recovery coach, just for life in general, it definitely is worth it. I've said this time and time again that, in 2025, with the loss of my leg and the loss of, the passing of my wife, if it wasn't for the training and for me learning how to sit with my emotions and learning how to figure things out, I don't know where I would have went. I could have went back off the deep end. I could have went back into my addiction as well. And so to be able to learn what these guys teach you, it is definitely worth it. So please check them out. And also, guys, we just want to mention get on your calendar and mark down Saturday, October 3rd. We are going to be doing our sixth Healing Utah Success Summit, abbreviation as HUSS, HUSS. We are looking forward to it. We got some really good speakers lined up. We even got a few more that is looking at coming to the table to speak. We've got Dr. Rob Kelly out of Texas that's going to be coming up and talking. And we've been speaking with a lady out of California who really wants to come up here and be a part of our event as well. So October 3rd, mark the calendar, the Healing Utah Success Summit. The venue is still to be determined, but hopefully we'll be getting out and you guys will be checking. You guys will be seeing a lot more stuff on our social media or my social media, Healing Utah Success Summit social media, and a lot of our team members. So thank you guys. Appreciate your support. Now, today we are going to be talking about growth is absolutely possible with my lovely friend and a second timer on the show, Michelle Peacock. Michelle, thank you so much for taking time out of your morning to be with us today.
You're welcome. Thank you for giving me the time again to be able to share some ways that people can grow. I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
absolutely. And I'm glad that you reached out and said, hey, could I come back on the show? And I always love it when past guests want to come back. It's really, really cool and a lot of fun. And also just to hear where their growth has gone, right? Because,
Mhm.
I've had one guest on three times, but and a handful of others who have been on a second time. And it's so cool to hear where their life is at compared to 2 years ago or a year ago when they were on the show, or even 3 years ago.
Mhm.
It's crazy. And I'm just going to say this out loud too while we're on the show and it's being recorded. I just want to say thank you again to you and Michelle Cares, your organization, for getting some volunteers together to help me and Janan's daughter to be able to place the headstone on the 1 year anniversary of her passing. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you. You're welcome. And we really appreciated being a part of that. So it was a reverent day, and it was really important for us to be there for you. You're a great friend of us.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, I wanted to make sure I said that on the air on the recording, so people know. And we will talk about Michelle Cares. That's for
Yeah.
sure. But today is talking about growth is a possibility. I think that's something that definitely you've got a lot of experience in.
Mhm.
And so many of us who are in the recovery community have that, right? That we
Mhm.
don't realize when we change our mindset and we really start going in a different direction. And you said it before the show, and I've heard you say it many, many times, and I'm with you 100% on, is when we can start giving back. You know, um, that's when the miracles I feel start
Mhm.
happening.
It, the miracle started working in me. Um, it's funny when I started the nonprofit, even when I was on the show last time, I thought it was going to be centered around positive affirmations and stuff like that and journaling, which is still it's still a part of it, but it's grown into volunteering, um, being able to bring people out of treatment to be involved before they get out of treatment. That's even better. They're able to come out and be in the community. They're able to find the organizations that they may want to work with outside or even meetings that they want to go to. And that's how I grew. I did not like to volunteer. And I'm going to say this on the here. I'm probably going to have to go back through drug court, but I cheated on my volunteering. And I've been feeling so guilty about that. But then I think, you know what? I made up for it. We're able to go all over the community, and it's fun to watch the volunteers come. They're nervous. They don't know what to do. They're new into treatment. And to just see them grow from the first time they come to now. I have volunteers that are out of treatment that still come and work with us. And just to see how well they're doing, they're growing. And it's from the volunteering.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to be able to facilitate that for people. And it doesn't only just help them grow, but it helps their relationships with their families grow. Because if
Yeah,
you're
I do.
sitting there and you're volunteering and you invite that family member that you're trying to build that relationship with, they get to see the different you. They get to see that you're putting into action those words that we keep promising. Oh, I've changed. I've done this and I've done that. But they actually get to see you grow. And then they're going to have communications about that. And to see that, and I've had volunteers that I've seen that grow with their daughters and their family. And it's really humbling to be a part of that and to
Yeah.
be able to facilitate that and to just see them grow.
And that is what is really cool, right? So we volunteer and we do our best to help other individuals. And really inside, there's a total change that is happening within us that for me, I didn't realize it for a long time. And I'm going to be vulnerable here. And
Okay.
and I've talked about this a few other times and I've mentioned it on the show a couple times, but when I lost my 24-year career in 2009, I'm thinking, okay, I'm known as a liar and a manipulator, and
Mhm.
um, I go after whatever Al wants. That's all I cared about.
Mhm.
And I decided it was time to change myself. It was time that I didn't want to be looked at as that type of individual. I didn't want to leave a legacy so tarnished like that,
Mhm.
right? So I heard, and all our families like LDS and that, and I don't practice. I'm more in the spiritual side of the things, not the religion part of things. But I remember hearing that God will give you gifts when you help others. So still, even in my addiction mind at that time, because I was partying, snorting cocaine and drinking every weekend,
Oh yeah.
you know, um, I'm looking at it in a selfish way. I'm like, well, crap. Okay, well, I'll do that. And I really didn't want to. Just like
Yeah.
what you said, I did not want to. So
Mhm.
I started figuring out how to get involved by volunteering. And I got involved with the West Jordan Chamber of Commerce, and they do a lot of things for the community as well.
Yeah.
And I'm going out. Next thing I know, I'm a co-chair of Best Buddies Utah, and I'm working with a lot of Down syndrome or being involved with a lot of Down syndrome and autistic kids and doing events. And then I'm doing a couple other things. If someone needed help to move, I'd go help them. Where
Yeah.
before it'd be, I'm busy while I'm having a drink, and I'm not busy at
Yes.
all. But it's crazy because as time went,
Yeah.
I literally started falling in love with it. My selfishness. Now, I feel there's a good selfishness and a bad selfishness.
Yes, there
Mine
is.
was the bad one, right? And all of a sudden I started changing inside. I started loving and enjoying. And before I knew it, I was the chair of Best Buddies. I was on the Healthy West Jordan Committee. I was on the West Jordan Road Stampede Rodeo Committee, and I'm on the Share the Magic Committee. And I mean, I've got like five different things. And I remember Janan kept telling me, she's like, we got to bring money, and why are you so involved? And you're not getting paid to do all this, and you're spending all your time. And we had some heated discussions about it, but literally it changed me
Mhm.
as an individual. That selfishness completely turned around.
Yes, it does.
And it's like when I was able to see the smile, especially with best buddies on Down syndrome friends or
Mhm.
autistic friends, and see the smile on their face and the love that, oh, those kids taught me so
I love it.
much. Oh my gosh. And it did. It completely changed. So what you are doing is so needed, I think, for so many of us because we don't realize what it does for us personally.
We don't, because people don't take the time nowadays. I know there's a lot of people that volunteer, but a lot of people are only doing it for community service, which to me, community service is you're being forced to do it. And then volunteering is you do it out of the kindness of your heart. And hopefully, a lot of our hope is that when they come to do their community service, that it changes like that, because it does change you. It just, and it is selfish, because I do it when I go volunteer. I do it because it makes me feel better and it helps me stay in the shut in the spot that I am, in my big girl shoes is what I call
Yeah.
it. I finally grew into my shoes, and knowing my purpose right now is awesome, because now I can just keep going, and it does keep going. And the more that I make that right choice, the more my life falls into place. It doesn't mean that my life is no, it doesn't have any problems, or I don't have any stress. It just means that I'm able to handle it a little better. I walk through it a little bit more with grace. And believe me, I've been through it the last year, and a lot of people don't know it, and it's like I used to want everyone to know. I needed everyone to know what I was going through. But now that's not important. The important part is getting out there, helping people that don't believe in themselves start to believe in themselves and help them grow in ways that a lot of people don't have care in their life. A lot of them haven't been taught how to do stuff for other people, but a lot of them are taught how to do all the wrong. I guess I don't know how else to say that. They're just taught to do the wrong, to make wrong choices. And so we're able to help them to make those right choices and to love them and show them that care. And then that kind of helps them fall over from the community service side to volunteering and to want to continue to do it. I have some volunteers that are now on our committees, and it's just awesome to watch them grow and to be able to realize that they can grow and that they can do this. And to see me go through stuff in live, I don't know how to say in person, I've decided to not hide what I'm going through with the volunteers. If I'm going through a bad day, I go and I explain to them, I'm having a bad day, but this is what I'm doing. I'm coming out still. I'm still volunteering with you guys because it changes how I feel inside. It changes that feeling of wanting to go back in bed or waiting for the nighttime to come so I can go to bed. And to be able to be with those volunteers and to show them how to do that, and I have some that say, well, I want to get paid for this, I do this all the time. And then that's when I get to teach them and show them, you do get paid, because we do get paid by seeing the happiness on people's face, and to show them that care. And we partner with the Showers of Hope now, and they do showers every Wednesday at Liberty Park. And to see people be able to come in and be excited to come take a shower, get a fresh pair of clothes, and hopefully soon we get someone there to cut hair. It's just really, how can it not be humbling, and how can it not change you? I never was on the street. I think my family had me or made me sleep in, or gave me the opportunity, I'm going to say, to sleep in the homeless shelter for one night. And I can't imagine doing that every single day and having to get out and carry all my stuff around. And that's who we're going to try now to get involved in volunteering, so that they can see there's stuff they can do during the day. If they're not able to work, we can just show them easy ways to volunteer. People think volunteering is about going and stocking shelves or doing the hard manual work, but if you can't do that, what do you do? So with Michelle Cares, we make opportunities for people in any situation. Anyone that's homebound, we take quilts to them to help them tie them so we can give them out in the community. Any hobby anyone does, I can turn that into a volunteer opportunity. I believe that's why we have hobbies. To be honest, I think that hobbies are gifts that God gives us, and we need to share that with people. And to be able to share that with people, it brings that happiness to them. And when you give them that happiness, then everyone else wants to do the same. And so that's how we grow.
Yeah.
And it's just it's just awesome to see people wanting to do that. I'm starting to do workshops, taking it into Hope and Abundance, and to watch these guys like just do it, doing art last time, and to get excited about it. That's what I do every day, and I get to help people. I work at Odyssey now, and to just be able to hang out with them. And like I said 100 times, people really probably haven't felt that love or that care or to give that importance to, or and it helps, and that does help them grow because they know that they are lovable and they're not broken. As Todd's taught us, we're not broken. We're
Yeah.
not a bicycle. We don't need to be fixed. We just need to change the way we're doing things.
Yeah.
And it's hard. I'm not perfect by any means. I go through my
None of
day
us
and I'm
are.
always like, I'll say something negative, especially when I'm driving. Oh, I'm still working on that. But I have to change the way I talk. I'm like, oh crap, I better not talk that way. And
Yeah.
I laugh about it, but I'm serious. My dog does not like to get in my car because I get so mad at these drivers. And I'm trying to work on that because I need to be positive everywhere, and it's not easy, and it's just there's no perfection in this life at all. You're not going to attain it. So just don't measure your worth on that.
And
That's
and,
what I say to
and
people.
I'm going to interrupt you really quick for a
Yeah.
second with that word perfection. So I took some training last year, and the guy that was doing the training says perfection is reaching a point that can no longer be improved. There's
Oh, yeah.
always room for improvement. So
Always.
really, there is no perfection, right?
Mm-mm.
There
Nope.
isn't one, and that word is something that I don't know. I do my best to have completely removed out of my vocabulary because
Yes.
there is no such thing, and
Nope.
and being single as long as I have, and I've talked to a couple other single guys and a lot of single women, and they're like, I'm waiting for that right man or I'm waiting for that right woman. It's like, well,
Yeah.
that perfect one. It's like, well, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck because you're not going to find them because we all
Nope.
have issues.
Yeah.
However, it would be cool to find a partner, male or female,
Oh,
however it
yeah.
goes, that also has the issues, but is willing to help unpack your luggage and you're willing to
Mm-hmm.
help unpack their luggage. That's where the growth comes in, right? You go,
Definitely.
okay,
Yes.
I know you're not perfect. I'm not perfect, but what can we do to work this out to help each other move to the next, the
Yeah.
next
The next level that we're trying to
next
get
level?
to.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think, oh, I just lost my thought. Oh yeah, by not being perfect, like talking about relationships. I'm not in one, and to be honest, I'm happy where I'm at right now because I'm working on myself. But
Hmm.
now, if it happens, it happens. And the way I talk to people, and I may not end up doing this, but I have emotions that are like something that I go through all the time. So I put that down. And if I can go through all those emotions, negative, positive, even for with my partner, and we are still friends even after the negative, they support me through my negative, then I'll move. When I go through all those emotions, then I'll move to a relationship because I believe people are jumping before they find out,
Yeah.
and that doesn't help us grow.
No,
So
no. And to go back to even what you was talking about with the volunteers, so we don't get into the
yes.
plenty of
Yeah,
fish.
sorry.
Here, no, it's okay. Don't be sorry, because I'm the one that really kind of started going that direction. So, um, just look at the strength of the chain that you were building through Michelle Cares,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yes.
I've gone out and volunteered as well with some things. And the people who started the organizations are people,
Mhm.
individuals like yourself, those who have lived on the streets for years,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
know what it's like to where really you do need to look out for yourself. It is all about you, right? Because
Yes.
you're protecting
Yes.
yourself. Because from what I have learned now, which I
Yeah.
never ever really thought of, and I don't think the majority of people do, being on the streets is not easy. And I'm not talking about
No.
just not having shelter over your head. We're
Yeah.
talking about being vulnerable and being taken advantage
Mhm.
of and sexual thing. I mean, there's
Yeah.
so many
There's a
things that
lot.
can happen to you out there, right? But
Yes.
however, to see somebody have that light go off or whatever changes it, whatever clicks
Yeah.
for them, because usually it's something that clicks,
Yeah.
they get their life in order, and
Hmm.
all of a sudden you see them going, hey, I was there once. What can I do now to help over here? right? I mean, this last December, I went out and was helping him out there at Pioneer Park. I don't remember the gentleman's name, but he does it every year. I think it's right around Thanksgiving time. It was not, it
Yeah,
was around Thanksgiving time. And, people donated clothes and toiletries and all kinds of stuff. And there was a line of people at the
yeah,
park. I mean, when I got there, I'm like, oh my gosh,
yes.
he's been doing it, I think, for almost 10 years now. And this is the
Yeah,
first year I volunteered for it.
wow.
To see how grateful people to get a new coat, to get
Yeah,
blankets, to
new
get
pair of socks.
a new pair of socks or toothpaste,
Yeah,
or a new pair of shoes. You know,
yeah,
they didn't care it was hand-me-downs. They
no.
were just so grateful. And I tell you what, so many people there that day expressed how grateful
Mhm.
and how thankful they were for everyone there. I heard thank you, I bet you 1,000 times in the few
Yeah,
hours that I was there. And
no,
they mean it. They're just not saying it to say it. You can see it in their eyes how
yes.
grateful that they are. And man, if that doesn't do something inside you,
Yeah,
holy
it
cow.
does.
Yeah.
It sure does. And, I don't know. We partner with PICTAR also. It's a Polynesian organization in the area. And we go through and we do breaking bread every Thursday. We changed the location. I can't remember the address, like 500 West and about 400 South. I can't remember. I'll find that out. But we do breaking bread and we have people go and get food and make it. And then they bring it. We give them a warm meal every third Saturday. And it would be cool if we can do it every week. It's a lot of work for them to bring all that food,
Oh,
but we do see that. We see the happiness and we see oh, thanks, because they don't get a home cooked meal, so now they get to have that. And then now it's growing into other harm reduction people coming out and doing stuff and bringing clothes and bringing harm reduction. And it's, it is cool to see them. It's not even cool. It's like I said before the show with you, it's humbling to
yeah.
be a part of that with people. And they are grateful. Some of them give you a hug. Some of them remember your name. And even if you've only seen you one time, and it's so amazing that you become part of them, even though you're not out on the street with them, they look forward to seeing you. And it's really, and to see the volunteers wanting to get involved and go every week. They go every week to the showers and every week to pick up, or every other week we do a food bank also. And they just want to go. And it's so cool that even if I don't go, which I haven't been able to go a lot the last few months, but they have been there and they have helped and they've loved it. And it's like I keep saying over and over again, it's so cool to be able to see the change in people. I've had a few of the volunteers that struggled to get out the door. And it's like, come on, let's just go. I'll help you. If you don't feel well and you still don't like it, then you can go home. But all the time, every time they get there, they love it. And now they're used to getting out the door. And now they're doing all that kind of stuff. And just like I said, just be able to facilitate that for people and to let them know I've been there. I'm still there.
Yeah.
I can't get out the door some days. Some days I don't want to get out of bed, but they help me get out of bed. Even when I'm not with them that day, I just think about what can I go do today to find something for them to do. And want to get started into visiting people. I think that's really important too, is that we get in and volunteer and go visit people that don't have people to come visit them. I mean, just think about how you feel and how you would want to be treated, what you would want done for you, and go out and do that for somebody. It's not that hard.
No.
And people make it out to be so difficult. It's just saying hi to somebody is a volunteering. Walk down the street, say hi to everyone you see, and see how you feel by the end of the walking down that street.
Yeah.
And I just try and share that. And I don't know.
You know,
It's just,
just like you said, you can take an hour out of your day, right?
mhm,
I think I shared with you Wednesday when you came to help us with the headstone. I had just left from volunteering at Encompass Health, and
I know that.
this Encompass Health, just so our listeners know, it was a place that I went after I left the hospital. It's where I went to
Okay.
start doing my rehab for my leg.
Okay.
And Connie, who I actually, it's funny how God just worked all that into one perfect storm.
Yes.
Way. Connie comes to me and she goes, "Hey, I have this beautiful lady who wants to come in and say hi to you and meet you. And she's a double amputee. And would you be okay with it? And I said, yeah, absolutely. She goes, okay, well, I'll arrange your physical therapy. She can arrange the schedule. So when you do your physical therapy,
Yeah.
she left me a couple hour gap. And my daughter, my oldest daughter, Megan, and my mom was there. And on that day, and in comes walking this short, beautiful, blonde-haired lady about around my same age, big old smile on her face. She's probably like 5'4", 5'5". And she comes just bouncing in my room, and Al, it's such a pleasure to meet you. And she comes over, and I'm trying to get to the edge of my bed. She goes, no, 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 just stay there. I'll give you a hug. And she gives me a hug, and I introduce her to my mom and my daughter, and she gives them a hug. And I'm looking down, and she had some type of pair of Levi's, but they were up just a little bit, and you can see both prosthetics, just
Mhm.
basically almost from the shin down.
Oh,
And oh my gosh, she was so bubbly, and she's talking to me, and she's sharing her story. And she spent 2 hours in my room with me and
wow.
mom and my daughter. And that meant so much to me,
Mhm.
right? To be able to have someone who has experience, but both legs. I'm here
Yeah.
with one, and she's telling me
Yeah.
all the stuff that she's doing. And she's like, hey, I just want you to know this is probably what you're going to go through. It's okay. It's part of the process. Don't get frustrated, and she's given me her journey, but
Yeah.
also letting me know that I'm going to be a part of that same journey, right?
Yes.
In a different way. So when I ended up getting out of there and finally getting to where I got my first temporary prosthetic foot in that, Connie reached out to me and she goes, are you doing any kind of volunteer work? And I said, no, it's so funny because I was talking to him about it in the hospital. And I said, I just have a feeling I really need to do this. And
Mhm.
and Heather was really a big part of it. And she goes, Al, we would love to have you come in. So now when they have somebody that has lost a limb, they call me up and say, hey, do you have time to come in and see whoever is here? And
Yeah.
what was crazy is this last Wednesday was I'm expecting to see someone who has an amputation. And
Hmm.
Connie and I always sit down, and she always gives me the rundown of who I'm going to visit, what their name is, where they're at mentally,
Yeah.
physically and stuff. So I have an idea what I'm getting into when I go there. Not
Yeah.
what I'm getting into, which
Smokey.
direct.
Oh my gosh, my dog's going outside. I'm sorry.
Oh, do you need to get them?
No, he came in.
Okay. Okay. So
Sorry.
which direction, to go. And so I was talking to Connie, and she's telling me this gentleman's name and that. And I said, so is he a double amputee or a single amputee? And she goes, oh, he doesn't have any amputation.
Oh wow.
I'm like, oh, so okay, well, that's not what I'm used to. So why did you ask for me to come? She goes, Al, he almost lost his life due to alcohol. He
Wow.
literally just, I mean, minutes away. If they
Wow.
had got him to the hospital, he probably would have died.
Wow.
And she goes, you were the first person I thought of. And
Wow.
I went, oh my gosh. So anyway, it was so cool to sit with this gentleman and just have a conversation with him. And I
Hmm.
walked out of there with my chin held even higher, not because I was boasting myself. It's
Yes.
just that I felt so good that this gentleman felt comfortable enough to open up and tell me his story and what he did wrong and how he's looking at things right now. It was just such an amazing feeling. So I can see how Michelle Cares is helping so many individuals who are volunteering, even those that don't want to do it at the
Yeah.
start.
Yeah. I've been able to help over, I think it's 300, almost 400 people at least plant that seed. Maybe in the future they'll be wanting to do it and to help. And I keep thinking this, I want to share it because it keeps coming to my mind that volunteering, if you're sitting there and you get the feeling or you get somebody in your mind, even if it's somebody you haven't talked to 5 years ago, or, if you get that person in your mind, my opinion, that is the spirit, or if spirit's telling you that this person may need you to call them. How does it hurt just to take a text and say, hey, just want to let you know I'm thinking about you? That's a way to volunteer. And people don't think of it being that easy. They just think of it being hard, but it's not hard to grow. You can make yourself grow. It's easy.
Yeah.
You just got to make that first right choice. And after making that first choice of doing it, man, it got me one night after the other. And now here I am. And like you said, it's so cool to have people, hey, call Michelle. Michelle can help you and do this and volunteer and get the volunteers. And to be able to know that people trust me and know and love the volunteers, I have to give my volunteers huge props. They always get comments, they always come, they always work together, they always get the job done, and they have fun doing it. And the difference with volunteering with us is we don't just have you come volunteer. I support you. We support you in court. We support you. And if you need to have a family talk, you need someone to sit there, we'll go do that with you. You're not just a volunteer to us. You're part of our family. And I have two families. I have my blood family and I have my recovery family. And I love both of them. They both support me, and it's cool to have a whole bunch of family members. That way, you always have somebody. If somebody can't be there, I have hundreds of people I can call. Before I had a hard time finding even 5 people on my list, but now I have unlimited.
Yeah. Isn't
So
that
it's really
cool?
it's really cool.
Yeah. And I just want to share with our listeners and what Michelle is sharing. I mean, seriously, because we had our Healing Utah Success Summit last October. And Michelle and I talked and she brought, oh my gosh, I don't know, half a dozen or more of volunteers. And I just want to throw out there, every single one of them was extremely polite, had the manners of like a Sunday school child, I guess, which I only way I can think of putting it. And very, very helpful. They'd get done with something and then they would come and go, hey, is there anything else you'd like us to do? They just didn't go do it and then disappear. They
Yeah,
always came to find whoever and said, what else do you need done? And we had some of your volunteers actually helping behind the podium during our
yeah,
event. We had other people helping people find seats, help put up tables and that for our vendors and things. And so I just want to throw out there. So if any of our listeners have an event that's coming up, I will have definitely Michelle Care's stuff on the comments, but reach out to her,
yes,
and say, hey, we've got this event, and do you have some people that would be willing to come and help out? And again, these folks they're freaking amazing. They are amazing, and they are there to do whatever you need them to
oh
do.
yeah,
And of
do
course, I
anything.
mean, within reason is what I'm meaning. We don't want to ask them to do something we
Yeah,
wouldn't do ourselves.
exactly.
However, it's just a cool thing to have. And I'm embarrassed too because I when I got a hold of Tiffany, I'm like, hey, we're just and Janan worked with Tiffany for many, many
Yeah,
years, and they were very close. And I said, hey, I'm just letting you know we're going to do this if you can make it. And do you have some people maybe from USARA that could help? And she's like, Al, it's kind of a short notice, which it was. And
yeah,
she goes, well, how come you don't call Michelle Cares? And I went, oh my gosh, why did I not think of Michelle?
yeah,
Holy cow! And so as soon as I hung up with her, I
yeah,
was on the phone with you,
yes,
and it all worked
yes.
out.
And I was so honored that you involved us in on that because and to watch your daughter actually place the headstone, screwed up by herself it was just really a tender moment. And I can't tell you enough that we really appreciate being part of that special moment with you guys.
Yeah, it was
And
cool.
Janan seems like she was a feisty little thing, a little I don't know. We won't go there right now.
At
But
times she could be. That's
yes,
that's for sure. She may have only been 5'4", but she was a
yeah.
giant.
And so short girls that are my mom's short and she's feisty. My mom is like 5'4" too. And she's feisty when she wants to be.
Yeah.
She was yeah. I remember my dad was saying that my mom got out one time to save a parking spot. And she was mad. She got mad at this guy, and my dad's like, "You're gonna get shot if you keep doing that." And she didn't care.
Okay,
She
it's
was
my
like, "This is
spot.
our spot."
I
So
love it.
yeah, they're feisty, and I just want to say I love my mom. I love my whole family, and they have been very supportive. They've been through it with me, and my little brother who's still suffering, I think. And it's just to have that support. is really important. And that's why if you have family members that you don't have support with, you have the recovery community. And that's what I keep showing people. When I was in drug court, they kept telling me, get involved with USAR, get involved with volunteering. And I didn't do it. And I believe I didn't do it because I still needed to go through the things I went through so that I could be there and I can be that peer support for people that have been through. And it's a lot of people don't understand that I've been through the trafficking and I've made it through that. I haven't shared that. I wasn't through a lot of it, but I've been part of it. And to be able to help those women, and now that I'm going to be sharing my story more about that, I'm going to be able to help more women. And they'll be able to trust me a little bit more. And that's why if you've been through anything like that, if you've been through any kind of trauma, we've all been through traumas, but if you've worked through that and you're able to get through it, find people. That's where you can volunteer too. Go to the crisis centers. That's what you can do. And there, I don't know. It's just so I just have all these ideas in my head. I just want to shout them out there, and I need to do better about putting it out on Facebook. I'm going to do better, but just know that you don't have to. You can be sitting here, make a phone call. Make that phone call to the person that's been on your mind, and especially if they keep popping into your mind, there's a reason for that. Just make that phone call or just make that text. And I keep saying that over and over again because I do that. I hear people or I get things that I need to say to people and that they need to hear, and I just text them and I just tell them that. And a lot of them say, thank you. I needed that right now. And to be able to watch watch the people that I have just go through their change and to make that growth for themselves. And the minute that they change from the customer service, oh, not customer service, the community service to the volunteering, the change in their whole demeanor. I mean, it changes as you get off the drug, yes, but what are you going to do after that? There's stuff behind that drug that you're doing that you need to work through, and being able to volunteer and to get to be around people that are going through that, it helps you kind of stay away from those. I wasn't perfect when I started doing this. I'm going to tell people I was still off and on using, off and on. And it's like eventually that fell off because what was I doing? I was out of myself and I was sharing what I could bring. My family used to always tell me, don't rely on your friends and rely on your family because I didn't have very good friends back then. And it's true. It's like rely on your family. I rely on my recovery family and I rely on my blood family. And to be able to have that support, I don't know where that just went off the subject I wanted, but obviously I need to say it. But the support is very important. And if you think you don't have support, you can get on Facebook and look up Michelle Cares, and we will be there for you. If I don't know you, I'll be there. Eventually, I'm going to know you, and eventually, you're going to be a part of the Michelle Cares family.
Yes.
So I know I keep talking about Michelle Cares, so I'm sorry, but that's what we
No,
do is we
don't be
volunteer.
sorry at all, because this is one of the reasons why you're on here, right?
Yeah,
So people know about Michelle Cares. Yeah, so don't apologize for it, because it is such a needed thing to have.
it is.
And it's something I'm going to give a little shout out to my daughter and her husband with our grandkids, because I remember, gosh, years ago, my grandson, or not my grandson, but my son-in-law came to me and he goes, Al, um, thank you for the stuff that you get the kids and that for Christmas and that, but we're doing our best to teach our kids that Christmas isn't about receiving, it's about giving. And the last year before they shut the temple down to start doing a bunch of work on it, I don't remember what
Yeah.
that was, but my daughter went out to McDonald's and bought a bunch of $5 gift cards. And what our plan was after we went and saw the lights, because it was going to be the last year of doing all the Christmas lights and that, we were going to go out and pass out these $5 gift cards to the unsheltered downtown so they had a
Cool.
place to go get a meal. And it happened to be raining, and we did a pretty much a quick trip, and we were all getting pretty wet, and there was only one person that we ran into, one unsheltered gentleman, and we gave him a gift card. Very, very thankful. Shook our hands, told us thank you so much, told us Merry Christmas. And so we all got my son-in-law's vehicle, and he goes, I know where we can go. And we went down the road a little ways and we pulled off. And he says, why don't you guys stay here and my oldest granddaughter and him got out and they're like, we'll be back. We're going to go pass out some of these cards. And I think
Bless you.
that day, thank you. I think that day really even hit something in my granddaughter's heart.
Mhm.
They were gone for, I don't know, about 15 minutes or so. And again, it was still raining. So a lot of the people in shelters, they were looking for shelter. They were kind of like in the little cubby places of businesses and different things downtown. And we're all sitting in there talking, and pretty soon they come back. And my daughter goes, whew, I even get emotional when I tell this. Every time I tell this, I get emotional. My daughter says, Sweetie, how was it? And my granddaughter, I think she was maybe 7 at the time, 7 or 8,
Mm.
and she starts crying.
Wow.
And my daughter's like, Sweetie, why are you crying? And she goes, I don't understand, Mom. Why don't they have a home? I don't
Oh,
understand why they're on the streets. And she says, Sweetie, because sometimes people go through some hard things in their life, and we don't know all the reasons why they're here, but this is where they're at. And she goes, all of them are so nice. I mean, everyone was so grateful, and
mhm.
seeing that little girl with these tears just pour it down her face, just felt so good. And that has ingrained in her. I mean, I
Yeah.
remember quite a few years ago, my daughter texts me and says, Dad, check out the girls. And it was her and a bunch of her friends after school. They gathered up got a whole bunch of big garbage bags, and they were going around the neighborhood knocking on doors, going, if there's any garbage laying around, could we pick it up for you? Just going out there and just
Yeah.
doing stuff. And here she is 14 now, and
Yeah.
she's still doing that. She's
Wow.
still doing that. She quit gymnastics about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
They had enough of it, and she's glad that she wasn't doing it. But then her old coach reached out to her and said, "Hey, would you be interested in coming out and helping some of the girls like where you used to be at one
Oh,
time?"
yeah.
She's like, yeah. So now she's going out there. What's crazy about it? Now they're paying her to do it.
Oh,
Right?
wow.
She
See?
was just doing volunteer work just to do it and was enjoying it. And she was having so much fun. And her coach saw that and saw that she was doing such a great job, says, Hey, how would you like to be paid to do
Yeah.
this? She's like, I'm only 14. I'm going to get paid to do this. And so it's really
Yes,
cool to see how all that stuff turns out.
it does. And that I think that's important nowadays is a lot of people aren't getting their kids out there.
Hmm.
They let them they get them every single game system there is out there. I mean, I know some that their kid has 3 or 4 of them and he sits on them. And it's like, if we get kids out there when they're young to teach them, and it's not even just teach them, it's about giving it. But so here we do, we partner with the Other Side Village and their donut shop. And every Saturday we pick up their donuts and we go out Sunday and we honor the heroes of the community. And when I take the volunteers out, that's what I focus on. It's not about taking the donuts, but after we're done, I ask them, think about that feeling. What feeling did you have knowing that we took all those donuts to the emergency room and those people were so happy and so grateful? I said, do you remember that feeling? I said, keep that feeling inside. And that's what you want to chase. You want to chase that feeling inside. You don't want to chase the drug because that doesn't give you that feeling inside. It's like, remember that feeling you have when you volunteer with people. That's the feeling you want to keep. And that's the one you want to chase. And that's the one you want to have in your life. And I just hope that we can get this earlier generation in volunteering. And my mom and dad be so mad at me for doing this, but I'm going to tell people, haven't told a lot of people, but people that are panhandling, if it's cold, if it's hot outside, I have water in my car usually, and I'll pull over and I'm by myself sometimes, and I'll ask them. I'll say, "Hey, come here if I have time on the light because you have 5 minutes at a light usually." And I'll ask them, "Hey, I don't have money, but here I have some water," and they're grateful. But if I have time, I'll say, "Hey, where are you at?" A lot of them get mad that I don't have money, like they just turn around and walk away. But there's a few that'll like look at me and they'll say, "I'm from Cincinnati" or "I'm from St. George," and to have them just walk away, and I'll tell them, I say, it's got to be hard to have a job like this because you're getting ignored a lot every day, treated like you're not here. That's a hard job. I mean, nobody would like to be ignored, so, and that's kind of a volunteering you can do. It's just like just making somebody feel happy is what volunteering is all about for me, is making that other person feel better than when you came at first. And that's the important part, because once you have that feeling, you're going to always want to have that awesome feeling inside. And that is what, if you don't volunteer now, I'm telling you, contact Michelle Cares and I will help you find easy ways, fun ways, and ways that you want to keep doing it over and over again. If you want to come with me and I'll find you those, come on, I'll help you. Let's get a group together and get them going. Let's find something for you. Get all your friends together, get your family together. Let's go. Let's get this done. Let's help our community grow and become more positive.
Yeah.
So,
And going back to the title, where growth absolutely is possible.
mhm.
Again, guys, our listeners, it's because of this volunteering, right? There's a lot of many different ways of
Mhm.
growth, right?
Yes.
And however, this is really a good starter point. I mean, if you don't
Yes.
have a clue, if you're wanting to change your life and you don't have a direction to go, this is
Yes.
a good first step, basically,
Yes.
to do this. I have yet, in the past 17 years that I've been working on myself, and even been in the last 5 years doing this show and getting involved with different things, I have yet to have someone say voluntary sucks.
Yeah.
Not one.
Nobody
They
does.
all say, "Oh my gosh, it completely changed the way I look at things," or "It completely changed my life," or "I look at things differently now." And oh my gosh, the feeling that I got for this, or this person said this to me and it just warmed my heart, right?
Yes.
It does give you growth. It
Good.
definitely does. And what a great starting point. You know,
Yes.
that's all it is a starting point. Talking about, you said earlier about just even saying hi and
Yes.
smiling at somebody, and I'm not saying this to toot my own horn, but I want to say it because what you said is 100% right.
Yeah.
There was a gal a couple years ago. I've been going to the gym consistently for the past 14 years, and I've been going to the same one for, I don't know, the last 4 or 5 years. There was a gal that was coming in. Um, I'll just put it this way. She was very fluffy,
Yeah.
and she's coming in, and she was there every single day.
Wow.
And I finally walked up to her one day, and I said, "Girl, you are just killing it today. I've been watching you and you're just killing it." And she got this look on her face like, "You're watching me?"
Yeah.
And I just, she didn't say that, but the look on her face kind of looked like that,
Yeah.
and I says, "My gosh, look at you. You're drenched in sweat, you're working your butt off." And I says, "I've been seeing you here, come here for the past 3 months." And I
Wow.
says, "It is definitely making a difference. You're looking great." And all of a sudden she just got this big smile on her face. She goes, "Thank you so much. I'm working so hard. I'm doing my best to stay committed and
That's
everything,
cool.
and just that little thing right there. And
Yes.
it even started my day out well, knowing that I just helped somebody smile,
It does.
because all it took was just going, "Hey, you're killing it." That's all it,
Yes.
you
That's
know,
all it takes.
all of us want to be, you said it even earlier, Michelle, all of us want to be noticed.
Yes.
We want to be seen, and we want to be seen in a good way, right? Not in a bad
Yes.
way. And so many individuals look at other people, they see them and they just automatically, they assume in their mind that this is how they are. You
Hmm.
don't know until you go up and actually talk to that
You
individual.
don't.
And
You have no idea.
no, and you don't know what people are going through. I was talking to my friend Pam. She's an elderly lady that goes to the gym, and her and I become really, really good friends. And we was talking actually Monday morning, and she goes, "Oh, look at all the people in here. Can you imagine how many people in this gym have something going on in their life that we know nothing
Hmm.
about?" And I said, "Pam, man, you are so right.
Yeah.
They could be here letting some frustration out." So that's why there's such a huge group of us at our gym. And 5 minutes away from a Planet Fitness from where I live, but I travel 20 minutes to go to the one that I go to because it's like family. You know,
Yeah.
so many of us, and we're all out there just to go talk to other individuals, and say hi to
Yes.
them. Say, hey, it's great
I
to see you
know.
here today. And it's such a thing.
It is. I just want to say something that keeps coming to my mind, that you don't have to be a recovering addict to volunteer. You don't have to be a recovering addict to call Michelle Cares and want to volunteer. We help anybody. And there's a lot of people that aren't unsheltered, that are going through that depression, that is going through that addiction, and that is doing this because they are afraid that people are going to think something of them because they're out and out doing that. And it's like, that will help you. If you're struggling and you need help, just call us and we will help you. We'll help you figure out how to grow. And that's what we're here to help people do. So I just want everybody can volunteer. And everyone can volunteer with Michelle Cares. We don't turn anybody away. Obviously, we can help kids, we can help families, we help individuals. And if you just need support, call us and let us know you need that support, and we'll be there for you. And so that's just what I'm about now. And that's what Michelle Cares is about. Now that we've gone into it, we know what we're about, what we're doing. We are very excited to be part of the community and to be able to show people that it is possible to grow through volunteering and to build those relationships with yourself. If you have family members that really have nothing to do with you, build that relationship with yourself by coming out and volunteering and finding out who you are. Find out what you like to do. And like you were saying before, like I'll even help people find if there's a job you want to do, you walk into a company, a lot of the times you walk in there very respectful, dressed like you're ready, and just just tell them, speak, I'm here, I want to do this as a career. Is there anything I can do to volunteer? If they say yes, sure, you can clean our toilets and empty the garbages, then you go volunteer and you do that. And like your daughter, eventually they see your work ethic and they're going to let you in.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the stuff I'm going to try to steer to help people do that also, because that's a way to benefit them too, is to help them find those jobs that it's hard to find when you're unsheltered, or that you're having a hard time, or that you've had a background and you can't find that job or that career that you want to have. I'm lucky enough to be able to be in the career I want to do. I want to help people. I want to be in the treatment centers and to show people before they get out what they can do and find their own journey. That's the thing, is finding your own journey. Find your own way to volunteer, find your own meetings you want to go to, and just grow. Just find what works for you and do it. You don't have to do what everybody else is doing. You do what you feel is the right thing to do, and you're going to grow. Because if you know what everybody else wants you to do, you're not going to grow because you're not liking it. You're following that. I call us, we're cattle. We always follow each other. And so, but let's not do that. Let's find our own journey and let's grow the way that we need to. And the more we grow, the better our community is.
Yes.
So I'm just so excited to be a part of this community and to be where I am today. I never knew that I would be here. I would never knew I'd be on a podcast. I never knew that I'd be up talking in drug court. And I do ask because I'm trying to practice talking in public and being able to articulate a lot. I have a hard time with that, but I'm working on it. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not perfect, but the only way you get perfect is to try, which I'm never going to get perfect, but I'm going to attain it, and I'm not going to measure my worth on that. Definitely not. So just remember that you're not perfect, but you can work towards it. That's important, and volunteering is a big part of that.
Well,
So just try it.
remember, perfection is reaching a point that can no longer be improved, and
Yeah.
there's always room for improvement. Always.
Yes.
That is the
Always.
word where I will use the word always in,
Yes.
because there is always room for improvement, especially with
Improvement.
ourselves.
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people find you on michellecares.com. Is that how they can find you?
They can do that. And my phone number, I believe, is on there too. Do you mind if I give it? Because I don't mind.
If you want to give it, go for it.
It's 385-461-4168. Just text me and say, hey, I heard you do this, and give me your name, and I will call you back. May take me a day or two, but I will call everybody back and
Okay.
make sure that they get involved if that's what they want to do. If they don't know how, I'll help them. I'll help you figure that out. If you want to do your own, I'll help you get a group together and go do your own stuff.
Yeah.
It's not about me growing. It's just about me showing people how they can do it. So it's awesome to be able to be a part of that.
I love it. Michelle, thank you for your time and thank you for what you do. I mean, seriously,
Thanks.
what you were doing. I remember when you first mentioned it to me and said, "Hey, I got this idea and this is," and here you are doing it, right? The idea came to fruition. You're actually now doing it, and here you've got other ideas. And I'm sure
Yes.
with time and down the road, I do feel that when we are giving back to others, God helps us with our plans and with our growth, and He helps us go in the direction that we'd like to go, because
Yes.
it's out there to help other individuals. So thank you so much for what you're doing.
You're welcome. We really love it. So we're gonna keep doing it. We're gonna keep growing, and hopefully we'll be all over the United States helping people
I'm sure
volunteer.
I'm sure
We'll
you
see.
will be. Yes, I'm definitely sure you will. Again, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. And I just want to say, hey, thank you to our sponsors, Emergo Academy. Guys, seriously, if you're looking for a brain first approach, either wanting to be certified as a crisis recovery coach or just something to help your own personal individual, I highly recommend checking out Emergo Academy. That's EMERGO Academy.com. Also, again, mark your calendars for Saturday, October 3rd. I think it's like 176 days away, which one of our team members mentioned to us at our team call yesterday to remind us it'll be here in a blink. It seems like it's only April, but we'll be putting our fall clothes on here before we know it.
You guys should put a countdown clock on your website if you have one for it. Put the countdown clock. That's a good idea.
Yeah, yeah, I think we actually have one. We're hoping
Do
to be
you?
launching everything Monday. Yeah,
Oh,
so we've been
cool.
going through a lot of beta testing and stuff on our website, and it's
Cool.
something we haven't had before. This is all new. We've really changed a lot of things up for
Yeah,
for this year's, but yeah, hopefully Monday you'll start seeing a lot more stuff coming out
cool.
on social media and that. And I just want to say thank you to all our guests, all our past guests, our future guests. And if you know anybody, guys, that is interested and think, have a good story, like Michelle mentioned, Showers of Hope, if they're interested in coming on the show and talking about their organization, I'd
That's really
love to, I'd love to reach out to them and have a conversation. And I would say if you are, get with me as quick as possible because I have just been extremely blessed this year. I am booked all the way out till November.
wow.
So I've got a few days left in November and what's left of December, and then I'll be booking for next year.
Wow, that's
So
cool.
it has just been really, really cool. But again, thank you to all our listeners. You guys are the ones that's making all this possible. I love and appreciate you guys so much. And as I've been saying, yes, I am looking at rebranding the show. I'm still looking at it. It takes some time and some things to go through and make sure, but you guys will know once I do. So we're going to leave you with this as we do at the end of every show. Remember, addiction is giving up everything for one thing, and recovery is giving up one thing for everything. We're out.